Okay, still on this Oromania thing, okay? From it says Craft, the guy Craft, okay? Says, I conclude my notices of the southern countries of Abyssinia with a brief description of the Galas, in addition to which, during my residence in Shawa, I paid particular attention as I consider them destined by providence after their conversion to Christianity to attain the importance and fulfill the mission which heaven has pointed out to the Germans in Europe. Okay, so he has this thing that he believes that they should do for him. In the course of time, the Galas have taken possessions of a large section of Eastern Africa, separated into many tribes independent of each other. They extend, they extend. So to say from the 8th degree of north to the 3rd degree of south latitude, numbering in the whole from 6 to 8 million, an amount of which scarcely any other African race can boast. When in the 16th century, Muhammad Graga overran, or Grania, I think Grai Muhammad, no? Overran and destroyed the land coming from the south. With their innumerable horsemen, the Gala seized on some of the finest portion of Abyssinia. This movement may have been part of a more general one in the center of Africa, which drove the tribes of the interior towards the coast. The coast. The Ghana migrating towards the north and east, and it would seem to have been providentially ordained by this migration of the Gala to oppose barrier and on onward rush to the Mohammedans from Arabia, and so at one and the same time to push the abominable heresy of Christian Abyssinia. So they see the Christian Orthodox Church as a heresy, and the wild fanaticism of Mohammedan. Had no providence brought the Portuguese by sea to the eastern coast in the 15th century, and offward impelled the Galas forward for the interior, the fairly uh, proselytizing Islam would probably have overrun equatorial Africa from east to west as they once threatened to overrun Europe. The name Galas, in their own language, means immigrants and has been given them given to them, I think, by the Arabs and Abyssinians. They call themselves Orma or Oroma, strong or brave men. In their language, they call Afan Orma. The mouth of the Orma, so as the Gala, have no general name. So going forward, after having occupied, however, the finest province of that, they began to make war upon each other, which checked their further progress and made it easy for the Abyssinians to subject one tribe after another. So they fight amongst themselves too. And he actually mentions that, which is something that uh, today they blame the Amara for it. Yet this is what's going on. The Gala horsemen are very small but beautiful in color and extremely swift. Through horseshoes are unknown. The Gala in the neighborhood of Abyssinia are tiller and of the soil as well as breeders of cattle, while their brethren under equator are merely pastoral and lead a nomadic life. So አንዳንዶቹ ዘላን ናቸው። አንዳንዶቹ ደግሞ ያው ምንድን ያለው they are horsemen እንግዲህ that's basically what we see here. And then it says, like most savage tribes, the Gala are great talkers, and for hours together they can make speeches with an expression and pay the gesture which are very amusing to Europeans. The language is very harmonious and remind one of Italian. On the whole, 5 chief dialects may be distinguished in Oromania, although the difference between them is not so great that the most southern Gala can not pretty easily understand his most northern brother. The Gala have priests called Lubas, as distinguished from the Kalijas, who are their magicians, exorcists, and medicine men. As in the case of most heathens, so with these people, a tree has an important place in their religious ceremonies. Under the shadow of the Woda, sacrifice and prayer are offered up. A higher spirit even is supposed to dwell within it. Okay, so basically he kind of describes he explains what their religion, what their lifestyle is. If a Gala kills a man of his own tribe, a manslayer must pay a fine of 100 oxen. If a woman is killed, the penalty is only 50 oxen. An ox being estimated at from $1 to $2. So this is very interesting. Okay, so actually he did a good okay. I mean, as a history book, it's interesting to read these things. Well,